Series just finished. I mean, just finished. And the show was incredible. I would have been fine after the first match. The first match we had was the women's WarGames match. I would have been fine if we just left it at that, if nothing else happened, because that match was fantastic. We start off, they all come out, all their separate entrances: Rhea, Bianca, Bayley, Naomi, Io, Liv, Raquel, Nia, Tiffany, Candice on the other side. I think Io Sky should be called the matriarch of the WarGames match, because she has been in every WarGames match. Every single one. She's been in 6 of them. 6 WarGames matches is crazy. Rhea came out with a mask that was like a ram, like devil, like messed up looking mask that she wrestled in. Bayley and Nia Jax started the match. There was a toilet seat used, there was a trash can lid, fire extinguisher, chairs, tables. Everything was used in this match. It was a crazy match. Io came into the match climbing up the cage with a trash can tied to her back. Left it up there. Bayley ended up using one of Bianca's braids to whip Nia. And this all happened before the match even started, because not everyone was in the match yet. Rhea was standing there waiting for Liv to come in. Liv was the last one. Rhea was sitting there, cleaned house. She's just standing there waiting for Liv. Liv looked terrified. She went to the back and got a baseball bat. Looked so much more happy coming down to the ring. Came down to the ring. Rhea got Liv in position for the riptide. Nia yanked her down, pushed Rhea over, and then they went to town on Rhea's ribs with that baseball bat. Liv swung the bat at her ribs a couple different times. That would have really hurt if it did not look good at all. After all this, Io climbed back up to the top, put the trash can on top of her, did a moonsault with the trash can on top of her, did a freaking spinny thing in the air with the trash can, landed on everybody, and then laughed about it while she was on the floor. Freaking Tiffany Stratton did a swanton bomb at the same time off the top of the cage as well. It's going crazy in this match. I didn't know what was going on. They eventually, somehow, someway, handcuffed Raquel to the ropes during the match. Rhea Ripley did, handcuffed her to the ropes so she couldn't help Liv anymore. Tiffany Stratton had a moment during the match where she had the briefcase. Both champions were down, was like, I don't know what to do. She obviously, it never happened because she always takes forever for no reason. I don't get that. But I digress. It's going to happen later on down the line. That's fine. Naomi and Bianca put Nia through a table off the top rope at the end of the match. And then Rhea, to finish the match. This was the end of the match after all that crazy shit happened. And that's not including all the other stuff that happened like during the match, when it was like a really good match where they had some cool like team up moves and everything else. I'm not even going to go through that. But at the end of the match, Rhea and Liv were on the top rope in the cage. Rhea got Liv in the riptide, hit the riptide off the top rope, through the table for the win. Rhea, Bianca, Bayley, Naomi won women's WarGames in the first match of the night. It was an insane match. I was freaking thrilled with it. It was a great match to kick off Survivor Series with. After we still had more. After that, we had LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. Now, Shinsuke came out, new theme, dressed as a freaking samurai, looked crazy. And this match, it was a quick match. It was a very quick match. It was under 10 minutes. It was a very quick match. But there was a back suplex, from Shinsuke to LA Knight off the top rope, which looked nasty. Shinsuke dropped LA Knight with a Kinshasa in the back of the head. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke Nakamura is your new United States champion, which I think is the right way to go here. I think LA Knight was a good champ, but I think Shinsuke needed that. He is now a 3-time United States champion. It solidifies him even more as one of the best United States champions of all time. Shinsuke Nakamura is your new U.S. champ, and I cannot be more pumped. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with the United States Championship and Shinsuke Nakamura moving forward. After that, we had Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus. Intercontinental Championship match. This was right after Braun Breaker flew like 3 or 4 different times in this match. And I don't mean like off the top rope. I mean flew in the air. Like there was a point where it was Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser on the outside, and Braun Breaker was in the air, like diving in the air, coming into the shot, and then hitting Sheamus. Like it was a nuts visual, right? Sheamus ended up using the shillelagh on Kaiser as well during the match. They ended up getting into a brawl. We had a spot during the match where Sheamus countered Braun Breaker's spear. There was a chair set up in the turnbuckle. Breaker hit the chair off the spear, fell back. Sheamus hit him with a bro kick. 1, 2, Kaiser pulls the ref out from it and costs Sheamus the IC title. They go and they beat each other up. After they both get in the ring, Braun Breaker comes to, hits a flying spear on Kaiser, waits for Sheamus to get up, hits a flying spear on Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker retains his title, still the Intercontinental Champion. This was a good match. There was a lot of high spots. There was a lot of hard hitting. I enjoyed this match. It was a great match. Braun retained his title. After that, we had Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, early on in this match, Priest hurt his shoulder. Gunther worked over his shoulder for a lot of the match. It was a lot of Gunther working over the shoulder, Gunther getting the best of it, Priest's shoulder not being able to let him do any offense. The crowd were really into this match, though. They were like really hyped for it. Gunther kicked out of the Razor Edge. Priest kicked out of the Powerbomb. And towards the end of this match, we had Gunther and Priest on the top rope, right? They pushed each other off. Priest fell the outside, Gunther fell inside of the ring. While the ref was checking on Gunther, someone came out of the stands to attack Priest, Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes out, does a coup de grace off the stairs to Damian Priest. Gunther just didn't like this at all. Came by on the outside, kicked Balor in the face, rolled Priest back into the ring, and choked Priest out for the win. Priest ended up passing out. Gunther retains his World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther is still the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm assuming this will mean Priest and Balor will have a thing going forward, which I don't really want to see. I've already seen it, so I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what Gunther does with the World Heavyweight title next either. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. But after this, after all of that, new chant, women's WarGames, the IC title and the World Heavyweight title was a great pay-per-view in and of itself. That was great in and of itself. But the main reason we all watch this is right here. The men's WarGame match. The OG Bloodline with CM Punk versus Solo's Bloodline with Bronson Reed. Now, this match didn't get started right away, right? We had Tama Tonga come down to the all over the ring, looking crazy as always, which was awesome. Punk came out and shoved all of Solo's Bloodline while they were in their cage. They got all pissed off about that. Everyone got in Roman's cage, and then Jey Uso comes out of the crowd, yeeting all over the place with all the fans. Took like 5 minutes for him to get down, but I was enjoying it because it was a yeet fest. I was feeling it. What up, Sully? How you doing? But then we finally got the match started with Tama Tonga and Jey Uso. In this match, toolbox was used, tables were used, chairs were used. This was, again, a great WarGames match. Punk in the match ended up hitting a bulldog on Fatu on the toolbox. No effect. No effect to him. Fatu stood right up and just immediately killed Punk. When Solo came down, he used the cage door on Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn. He sat there and had his bloodline bring them right to it. Slam the door, slam the door, slam the door right in their face. Right? OG bloodline looked dead and dead, counted out, all done for. Then Solo brought out a chain and lock and locked the cage, not allowing Roman to come into the cage. Didn't allow that to happen. Roman ended up scaling the cage, coming through, coming down, hitting a big crossbody off the top rope onto all of Solo's bloodline. Right? Paul Heyman then came down because Punk and Roman were arguing. Paul Heyman comes down and says, "We're at war. We need to coexist. How will they do it?" They ended up doing it. They put their differences to the side. Roman ended up spearing Punk by accident, and then Punk saved Roman from a freaking top of the cage tsunami that Bronson Reed was trying to attempt, which is freaking nuts. Just top of the cage tsunami. Punk saves Roman. Like, there was so much going on. There was a 1D on Fatu. Jimmy Uso hit a freaking crossbody off the top of the cage onto Fatu through a table. Like, oh my gosh, there was so much going on. It was so crazy. The end of this match was double super kick, haluva kick, go to sleep, spear, all on Solo, all while the Solo's bloodline was taken out. They all did this all on Solo. 1, 2, 3, OG bloodline with the win. There was so much going on in this match, and this match was a fantastic match all around. This was probably one of the better pay-per-views that I've watched in a couple years. Like, this has been a very good pay-per-view. Punk and Roman shook hands afterwards, after the match. Punk came up to Heyman and said, "You still owe me that favor. When I need that favor, I'm gonna call." So there's still that down the line. I don't know what goes on. My mind is blown away right now with how Survivor Series just went. If you feel like I feel, if you enjoy watching my videos, I want to say thank you. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Peace and a yeet.